Virginia. Dawn is 17 years old, and she spent some time in one of our residential facilities, as well as in foster care for about 4 years before being adopted. So please join me in welcoming Dawn to our virtual stage, and we're going to let Dawn share with us her story.
When I was 14 years old, I missed the first 2 months of high school because my biological mother didn't want to take me and get me enrolled. So I ended up having truancy court, and I was told by the judge that if I didn't start school the next day, that he was going to put me on probation and lock me up in a juvenile detention center and send my mother to jail. So she was going to take me and get me enrolled to start the very next day, but that evening after court, the state came and removed me from my mother's home. I asked to be placed with my biological father, but he's an alcoholic and refuses to attend any AA meetings to get me back, so they wouldn't place me with him. So they then placed me in a foster home that was 10 minutes away from my biological mother's house. So I ran away from the foster home and went back to my mother's home. And when I got there, the cops were there to take me to a shelter in Clarksburg, West Virginia. While I was there, I was having phone calls with my biological mother and biological father, but my mom's calls got stopped because while we were on a call, she told me that she was going to come to the shelter and shoot the shelter up with all the kids in there. And my phone calls were supervised, so a worker heard what she was saying and reported it to my DHHR worker. And my mom's calls got ended, but my dad's calls continued. I was in the shelter for about 2 months, and then I got taken from there to the group home Odyssey in Morgantown, West Virginia. This is where my Presley Ridge journey began. Unknown to me, my adoptive parents was just starting their own Presley Ridge journey. As I adjusted to a group home living, my adoptive parents were taking classes to start fostering. They was just wanting younger kids, but at their meeting, the Presley Ridge worker read them a letter where I wrote asking for a loving family. So they decided it was me that they was destined to have. After over a year of being in Odyssey, I started visitations with my adoptive parents. It was 2 on-campus visits, 2 off-campus visits, and weekend visits, along with calls twice a week, and I was also still having phone calls with my biological father. On September 28, 2018, I officially moved in with my adoptive parents. I was told that if I still wanted to continue my phone calls with my biological dad, that I could, but it was up to me. So I did call him a few times, but our phone calls got so bad that he would have me crying because he would tell me that everything was my fault and he'd just be so mean to me. So I finally decided myself that I didn't want any more phone calls with him because I was so tired of being sad every time I talked to him. And I think after that last call, he knew that I wasn't going to call him anymore because he had never called the phone back before. But that day he did, and he talked to my adoptive mom and thanked her for taking care of me. So after that day, I had no more contact with my biological parents. I was with my adoptive parents for a year before I became adoptable. My dad's rights got taken and my mom gave hers up. So then I started moving towards the adoption phase. I had no self-esteem, no self-respect, no goals. I honestly never tried in school because I didn't have any kind of future plan and I didn't even think I'd graduate high school. Up until my parents entered my life, I never had anyone push me to set goals or reach them. My parents and Presley Ridge helped me set goals, which I met. They taught me so many coping mechanisms for day-to-day living. Getting over past traumas was so hard for me. It was so hard for me to trust anyone, and I had been so hurt that I needed to deal with my past. My turning point was when my mom told me to write a letter to everyone who hurt me, how they hurt me, and how that hurt made me feel, to release all of those unresolved issues that was holding me back. She told me no one ever had to read those letters, but just by simply writing about it was all that was needed and could help me heal. All of these tricks and tips has helped me mold my life and my future. Now I'm 17 years old with straight A's, motivated, and for the most part I have my future mapped out. I want to be a blind specialist. My foster sister is blind and we are learning Braille, and she inspired me to help others. I have applied to Fairmont State University, and then days later, Marshall University sent me an application in the mail, so I filled it out and returned it. I plan on getting a job until I start college. I am so proud of overcoming my past, and I am proud of the person that I've become. I am finally on the right track, and I am beyond blessed to have such amazing people in my life that push me to dream big and want to see me succeed in life. On March 4th, 2020, I officially became Dawn Singleton, and it was the happiest day of my life.
Dawn, thank you for sharing your amazing story with us. That takes a lot of courage. And I think everybody on this call will agree with me when we hear from you and you talk about that trust and healing and being able to move forward and all the things that you're setting as goals in your life. How awesome is it that you want to become a blind specialist to be able to help your foster sister and to give back, because we always have something to give back, right? And so you've found that strength in yourself, and you've set those goals for yourself. And regardless of the challenges that you've had in your life, you're proving to everybody how well you are doing and that you can overcome those and move forward and be successful. I think it's just an amazing story. It's sometimes families come in all shapes, forms, sizes. And like you, I was adopted. And so I know what that feels like. And I'm just really proud that you were able to find a family that you feel like you fit well with and that you feel accepted and loved and supported and that are helping you kind of move forward in your life. So congratulations on all of your hard work, all of your successes. And we look forward to hearing about big things from you in the future.
Thank you.